So I really want to talk to you today about the dating world in general. So I am Fox RedSky. I'm a matchmaker. I'm an astrologer, and I've really had a front row seat to what's going on, and it's a little bit heartbreaking. There's a lot of fatigue going on in the dating world, a lot of ghosting, a lot of people not taking accountability, a lot of really high expectations from both the men and the women. I don't necessarily think this is one person at fault. I think this is kind of like a mixed bag. But what I'm seeing more than anything is this wall that's building up, this kind of like callus that's building up, that's really preventing people from being vulnerable, from being authentic. And we can only come from a place of empathy if we understand where that side is coming from. But when we get into this kind of blame game, like, well, it's their fault, it's his fault or it's her fault, then there really isn't any space for that. And that's what I'm seeing time and time and time again. Just as a matchmaker, I get ghosted, like I'll go and vet someone out and I'll be like, yeah, this is a really awesome person. I'll do a criminal background check on them. And I'm like about to exchange information after I've already been on 4 or 5 calls with this person. And all of a sudden, nothing. Ghost. And these are people that are, respectable people, adults, but they're not behaving like adults. So I can only imagine from anyone else who's experiencing this, because I'm not dating currently. Of course, I'm married. Thank God I'm married, because the dating scene has become kind of deplorable. It's become a place of just very shallow interactions. And it's like, I feel like we could do so much better. But because of the dating apps, the dating apps have done to dating what TikTok has done to attention span. Like, nobody has time for anything, and everybody's lonely, and everybody's not getting into the deeper connections. So what kind of advice, as a matchmaker, as someone who is married too, can I give to people? Well, I am in the process right now of doing a TV pilot, and it's been quite the marketing, just doing the auditions for people to come onto the show. I have been getting such a sample of what's going on out in the world, all the way from 24 years old to 59. And what I do see, I see a lot of people that are fatigued. They just can't even respond to all of the messaging and just keep up with it. And it's and you really can't, from just a photo, on an app, determine whether you're going to really like that person. Because in some cases, people take amazing photos and then you see them in the real, and it's like, ooh, oh no. And then the opposite's true. I have some incredibly sexy bachelors that I'm like, no, girl, trust me. He's really hot. Just, no, please trust me. But they can't take good photos. Or they're not even in a space in their mind to just sit there and take photos and photos and photos. That's not even in their wheelhouse. They're playing golf, they're traveling, they're not like, oh wait, I gotta take a photo real quick. They're living life, especially a lot of the very successful, high value men that I meet. So even that's not a real indicator of a true match. And so man, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult. So my advice is, my number one advice would be, date intentionally. Meaning don't just date 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 people at a time and just trying to date one person at a time. Get to know one person. Give it one person a chance. And what this does is it makes you really, really, really focus and be present. Because I think that when we're not dating slowly and we're just doing this rapid dating, we never are in the mental, emotional, or the heart space to even give anyone a chance. Like, yeah. So that would be a piece of advice that I would give as a matchmaker is slow down. Date one person at a time. Quit dating 4, 5, 6, 8 people. Like, you're not, and you know, I'll be honest with you, especially living in Austin, Texas, word gets out, whether you're a guy or you're a girl. Like, you know, like if you're a guy, like, you don't think women talk about you? Like, you don't think all these women already know that you're dating all of them? Like, no. And then you're like, well, I want to be serious with one of them, but I'm just, you know, none of them are treating me seriously. Well, you know, you get what you get, you know? And, like, let's just be real about this shit. Like, we don't have to pussyfoot around. Let's just be authentic. Let's just be real. And come from clean up your side of the street, you know what I'm saying? And I speak to the men and I speak to the women, like, you know, you can't want something and do everything that sabotages it, you know, like you can't want a long-term relationship, you can't want a wife or a husband, but date 5 or 6 or 7 people at the same time. Like, that's just not gonna work, you know? And so that's one tip of advice I would give to both men and women. The second piece of advice, and this might come off as harsh, but I really, really feel this to the girlies especially. Like, you want to be adored, right? You want men to worship the ground you walk on. You want to be loved. Be adorable. Be loving. Be lovable, you know what I mean? I feel so many times with women and girlfriends that I have and people that I know, they are unintentionally are not very like, what are you going to do for me? Like, how, you know, instead of just being like, hey, look, there's a beautiful human being here. I'm going to get an opportunity to, even if this isn't meant to work out to something, maybe build a good friendship. Not like, oh, well, he did this wrong, and oh, his nails are painted, or oh, he only makes $150K. Yeah, or no, he's 51 years old. Oh, he's got a little tummy right here. Like I feel like as shallow as men can be, women, y'all are equally shallow, and so it's just hear my words. Like, I'm not trying to put any one person down. I'm not trying to complain about anyone. I'm just saying to you, from one woman to another, from one human being to another, to even to you gentlemen, like, you've got to come at this from a place of kindness, compassion, and lovability. You know, like you know, I know that we're all about rating each other and rating. You know, based on like, you know, our sex appeal, like our immediate physical, like, does she have, like, is she 115 pounds? Does he have a 6-pack? But let me ask you a question. What's your rateability for lovability? If you could say, like, how lovable am I from 1 to 10? What would you rate yourself? And what would the people around you rate you? Like, let's look at that number, and you will find right then and there why you don't have love in your life, why you're single, you know? Be lovable. And I'm not, you know, I say this with compassion. I say this with so much love, you know, because I want to see people in relationships. I want to see people in love, you know? So that's just one piece of advice I would give to you. You know, my first piece of advice, date intentionally, date one person at a time. Slow the fuck down, man. Just slow down. Like, I know. There's so many options. But, like, there's not. You have only so much time in this world. You only have so much life in this world, and you're wasting it. And that is the truth. That is, like, the harsh reality. And I'm not saying this to be a bitch. I'm saying this because I love y'all. I want to see you in successful relationships. I want to see you walking down the aisle with the man of your dreams, with the woman of your dreams. I want this to be not an epidemic, but it is. And I'm just cutting through the bullshit. I'm just cutting through it, okay? And yeah, and then the second thing, again, I'm going to reiterate it. Like, be lovable. Be adorable. Like, is it really adorable when you say snotty little catty remarks? Is it adorable when you hold everything over someone's head in the first 20 to 30 minutes of meeting them? You know, like, quit being some judging ass motherfuckers and just realize that you have an opportunity with a soul, with an individual. Look, you know, the best way I can describe it. The best way I can describe it is treat every human being as if you're talking to God. Whether you're going to marry them or not, treat every single encounter in your life as an opportunity to shine some motherfucking light. This is what I do in my life. I treat even the assholes, even the people who judge me and put me down and talk about me behind my back. I take a deep breath. I realize that this is a person coming from a hurt. It's their little child, and I talk to them like I'm talking to the 5-year-old version of them, and I say to them, and I say what I would say to a 5-year-old child, you know. You are loved, you are seen, you are valuable, you have gifts in this world. And if you do that on a date, people, my God, the opportunities, the things that can blossom from that point of view, that POV. Oh my God. And yeah, you know, I've really been, you know, I'm trying to come from a place of unconditional love. I'm trying to come from a place of introspective. So yeah, this has been my experience with people, places, and things in terms of listening to all of the singles, being at these single events, being a matchmaker. This is the biggest problem that I see, you know. So yeah, just a little 411. I'm just sharing with you, rapping with you. At the end of the year, you know, this is it. This is the end of the year. And you've got to ask yourself this question. Why am I still single? You know, you've had an entire year to dedicate yourself to find love, to walk consciously, to be love. How many times have you done that? How many times have you taken that opportunity? So yeah, sometimes we just gotta let go of these wild expectations and these notions of what we think love is. You never know. I honestly believe this in my heart of hearts. Most people, men and women, do not know what they need. They don't. They think, well, I need money, I need looks. These are the things that are the most important. I need someone who's as young as me, or I need someone young. For men, a lot of men, especially the ones that are in their 40s or 50s, I want a 25-year-old. But you don't know what you need. What you really are saying underneath all those layers of very shallow metrics is, I need to be seen. I need to feel safe. I need to feel good inside myself. And that's really hard, you know, like, what does that look like? If you haven't experienced it, you don't know what it looks like. If you haven't experienced it, you don't know what it looks like. So yeah, I know this is a little bit off the cuff, and I'm kind of just more than anything venting. I don't know if I'll get some hate for this stuff, but I mean, it's really what I feel and what I see. I have so many people that I love. You have no idea. I mean, I can think off the top of my head 4 or 5 girlfriends and guy friends that I love and adore. They're my favorite human beings. Do they behave in this way that I'm speaking about? 100%. Are they still single as fuck? Yes. Does it hurt my heart to see them lonely and sad and suffering? Of course. Of course it does. I can't say this to their face. They're my friends, you know. I love them. But I really feel that way. I really feel that if we quit thinking, what can I get from this person, instead of what can I give to this person? You know? And this, you might, you know, and I'm saying, like, say you go on a date, right? You're on a date. You're not physically attracted to this guy. Maybe their photos, they lied on, you know, they had a filter or whatever. Or a girl that used a filter and they're not as pretty or young or whatever. You can still leave them with an experience that makes them feel whole, seen, and loved. And you know what? A lot of times, when you start to do that, when you start to be lovable, be adorable, you're going to realize that you actually might like this person, because people will treat you different. People will start to adore you and start to love on you because you're being that. You are it. Love is not something that you go and get. It's not something that you go and get. It's something that you already have and are. We are divine beings on this planet. Love is the fabric of this universe. You know, all you have to do is be the love. Quit trying to be these judge, juries, and, you know, like Judge Judy, and, you know, quit trying to just have these impossible standards and just, what if this was the last time you would ever get to live again? What if you only had 10 more minutes of life? How are you going to treat this moment? Walk in that way, man, and I'll tell you something. These are ancient teachings. This is called the beauty way. When everything and everyone is beautiful, then the path becomes illuminated. Then people, places, and things come to you and shower you with love, gifts. The universe is like, oh my God, look at this loving, beautiful being. What can we do for her? What can we do for him? You know? I'm just giving you the keys. That's all I'm doing, is giving you the keys to love. It's not that hard. It's very, very simple. The keys to love is that when you walk in beauty, when you see beauty everywhere you go, you become an embodiment of love. You literally become what Creator has intended you to be. You just fall into love. Love follows you. It cradles you. It holds you. So yes, I want to leave you on that note, you know. I want to leave you on a positive note. I want to say thank you so much for listening. Wherever you are in the world, whatever your situation is, remember you are so worthy of love. And at this point, I'm probably going to take a break until 2025. I'm going to come back stronger. It's just me this time. I know I had multiple people join in the podcast. And that's who I am. I'm very much a loving human being that wants to collaborate, that wants to lift other people up, that wants to teach people, you know. I'd never want to be a gatekeeper. I'd never want to, like, prevent anyone from having knowledge or getting an opportunity, you know, because that's who I am. I'm a very loving soul, and I love everybody. So from my heart to your heart, wherever you are in the world, I send you all the love.